And now it is time for us to catch up with political analyst Chuck Todd, who's been joining us on Arizona's Morning News for the better part of 10 years now. Chuck is the host of the Chuck Todd Cast, which you can find at thechucktoddcast.com.
Yeah, it has
10
been
years.
I know. Isn't that crazy?
You guys did the math. That's crazy.
I did not do the math.
Yeah. That goes back to Obama being president. Remember that? The last guy from Chicago that got Chicago all excited.
So, yeah,
I
right.
have to tell you, Dub Pope, my cousin who lives in Chicago, sent me a big thing right outside of O'Hare. Dub Pope. I mean, you can't. The Bears, the Chicago memes are fantastic.
They
just fantastic.
Absolutely 100% are. So, Chuck, will President Trump's trade deal with Britain be just the first of many? And if so, will that make all the Trump tariff turmoil worth it?
Well, that's a good question whether it's worth it because, he still raised tariffs on British goods. And that is the easiest of all the deals. Look, the big thing that's going on is what's happening in Switzerland right now, right? Which is we just happen to be bumping into each other in Switzerland talks with China.
Yeah.
I love that they're trying to create this veneer that it was just coincidental that they happen to be both changing planes in Switzerland at the same time. But I think we're going to learn a lot more about the stomach the Trump administration has for this, because it does seem as if they're pretty anxious to come to sort of walk back the at least half of the tariffs that they've put on China, and I think that might be a bigger signal than anything with this UK deal.
Chuck, one of the interesting things about this is when you take a look at China, the president's not really wrong here. They steal intellectual property just willy-nilly, and the fentanyl chemicals that they send to get manufactured down in Mexico, I mean, they just busted with, 900 pounds of it?
Yeah.
Yeah, and these things have to be dealt with.
Well, this is I think the frustration that some have. I mean, I had the person who sort of created this tariff regime, a gentleman named Orrin Cass, seemed to put it that there was sort of a methodical way that they wanted to target China here. That ultimately this entire and I think what happened by the president deciding to unleash these tariffs on all of our trading partners at the same time, it sort of took the focus off who the real target was, which is China. And I think you're right. I think this has actually been one of the challenges of Trump's first 100-plus days, which is the voters agree with the goals that he has. It's how he's implemented the policy. And I think these tariffs, I think there's a lot of people who argue there was a better way to do this against China. That, hey, get all your friends in line. Get your trade deals with Japan, with Australia, with Korea, with Vietnam, create a bloc, if you will, an Asian bloc of allies, and then go after China. By doing it this way, it really sort of it put America on an island a bit, and suddenly we're having fights with our friends. And I think that it's the implementation. You're not wrong. I mean, the problem is China, and I think in some ways the initial unveiling of these tariffs was almost a distraction to what the focus is and should be, China.
Chuck, President Trump doesn't seem to be winning the tug of war over immigration and border issues with the courts. But is he still winning in the court of public opinion on that issue?
Oh, it's the one issue that I think he's still right side up on. Absolutely. And I think he is proving, some of this is they were able to build upon what the Biden administration finally started to do towards the last 6 to 9 months of their administration. He's going to lose some of these due process arguments and these ideas of shipping folks to other countries. I think that's a bridge too far for many Americans, let alone the courts. But the fact is the border's been tightened up, and the public's very happy about that. And I don't think we're going to undo this anytime soon. I think we are going to have restrictive borders. Our southern border is going to be much tighter. My guess this goes through at least 2 presidencies.
You mentioned Joe Biden, so I wondered if you had any thoughts on Joe Biden sort of rolling himself out there once again, and did he do himself any favors or damage?
Well, I think the question I got from somebody yesterday was if Biden was working for the Trump communications team, because there's nothing Donald Trump needs right now than a reminder of Joe Biden out there.
Yeah.
I could tell you, I heard from a lot of Democrats who are like, oh, why can't he, there's sort of some empathy that he wants to defend himself, right? We're all human beings. You know, these books are coming out that are going to just unload. But this is, put it this way, the most excited person about the View interview yesterday was probably Donald Trump.
Yeah, no kidding. All right. Thanks a lot. That is Chuck Todd of The Chuck Toddcast, which you can find at thechucktoddcast.com. And I don't think anybody's creating any memes like we saw at the beginning of the Obama administration, where there was, pictures of George W. Bush saying, "Do you miss me yet?"
Oh,
yeah, nobody's doing that for Biden right now.
Thanks for watching Arizona's Morning News. Click to watch more from KTAR News and hit the button in the middle to subscribe.